Listen, this whole young thug and Mariah the scientist drama just took another wild turn. And we already saw how things started falling apart after those leaked jail calls went viral. And let's be real. The one that hit Mariah the hardest was that nasty call where young thug was literally boasting about hooking up with a corrections officer. That was the breaking point for her.
Wow, I'm so P. Mariah don't even know. I mean, it bitch still fucking. Goddamn CO give it a box quicker than the FedEx work. They don't be telling my business, man.
But here's where things get even crazier. Turns out Mariah actually knew about these recordings for almost a year before they became public. She wasn't clueless at all. In fact, she was desperately trying to keep everything under wraps. Some text messages between Mariah and a blogger, who had access to those jail call recordings, recently surfaced online. And when you read them, you can feel just how badly she was struggling behind the scenes. Back in October of 2024, Mariah was practically pleading with this blogger not to drop the audio. She wrote, "I would have been willing to find a creative way to support you. This is seriously hurting me. My relationship has been destroyed in so many ways. You have no idea. I've already been embarrassed and I truly wish this wasn't happening to me. Can you please delete the post? I'm begging you just to work with me. As a person, as a woman, this has truly affected me and has taken away my desire to live life to the fullest. If you can let me know what you spent investing in those videos and I will reimburse you. Please talk to me." The blogger then replied, "Can you call me real quick? It's too much to type." A few days later, on Sunday, October 20th, 2024, Mariah reached out again. She texted, "Was wondering if you could email me some of the stuff. I've had some time to calm down." Then she followed up with another message. "Well, good morning. Where are you at?" The blogger responded, "Hey, at IV therapy, I'll hit you when I'm back home." Mariah simply replied, "Okay, thank you." Later that same day, the blogger texted Mariah saying, "Almost home. I'll send it." Not long after, they followed up with, "Just sent you a large email file of text messages. Did you get the email?" That's when Mariah's tone shifted. You can really feel how emotionally drained she was. She asked, "Your answer won't change our agreement, but rather will have an effect on how I feel. Are you agreeing to this because you really understand, or is it about the money? I just want to know that someone understands me. And my next question is, would you ever help me look into FOIA process? I'll talk about that later if I decide I wanted that help." The blogger responded with a mix of honesty and empathy. They said, "Honestly, Mariah, it's both. From a woman's perspective, I feel you. I can understand why you wouldn't want it out. From a business perspective, I'm actually taking a loss financially, but because you absolutely have pulled in my heartstrings, I will make the sacrifice and just rely on the universe to bless me. Yes, I'll help only if you're strong enough to handle it," Mariah replied softly. "I appreciate you honestly." And the blogger closed with a simple, "Thank you." At that moment, it really seemed like the blogger was on her side. They actually kept their word and didn't put the recordings out themselves. But here's the catch. Since jail calls are considered public record, other people still had access to them. And of course, that's exactly what happened. The audio got leaked by others anyway. So while the blogger may have kept one promise, they still kind of did Mariah dirty. Because later, those private text messages, the same ones she thought were safe, ended up being released for the world to see, even after she allegedly paid them. And this explains a lot. Remember in my last video I mentioned how Mariah looked completely crushed while performing Is It a Crime on stage the other day? Well, now we know the truth. It wasn't just her finding out about thugs cheating in that moment. She had been living with that pain for months, and now her private struggle was being exposed too. Mariah had been carrying this pain in silence for almost a year, doing everything she could to shield both herself and young thug from the embarrassment. But if we're being real, she was fighting a battle she couldn't win. And somewhere deep down, I think she knew that. Remember earlier in those texts where she mentioned the FOIA process? For those who don't know, FOIA stands for the Freedom of Information Act. Basically, it's a law that gives regular citizens the right to request government records and documents. So when Mariah asked about it, what she was really trying to figure out was whether there was any legal way to stop these jail calls from surfacing, since the calls happened inside a government facility. They technically count as government records. But here's the harsh truth. Jail calls are almost always considered public record, meaning no matter what, anyone could still request them. And that's exactly how people like Whack 100 and others were able to get their hands on them and leak them. Now just imagine the stress she was under. Every single day, knowing these recordings could drop at any moment probably left her sick to her stomach. I can guarantee when that very first recording hit the blogs, her heart must have just dropped. She knew more were on the way. And honestly, there's probably even more calls out there that haven't surfaced yet, and she's still praying they don't. But here's the thing. You can't hide the truth forever. And once those calls started flooding the internet, it became the final straw. Mariah had already been breaking on the inside for months, and now the world was watching everything she wanted to keep private. Now, here's where I want to hear from y'all. Some people swear Mariah hasn't really left Thug, that she's still caught up in him, and all of this is just a front to save face or protect her image. Others believe she's truly done and gone for good. So what do you think? Do you believe Mariah actually walked away? Or do you think it's all cap? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this situation just keeps getting messier.
The problem with the way that Young Thug did Mariah is that that girl was really writing for him. That's the problem. The problem was that Young Thug was incarcerated for almost 3 years and that girl was with him screaming, "Free Thug! Free Thug!" Okay? If she had a visitation with him and it was the same day of one of her performances or her shows, guess what she chose? She chose Thug. She chose Thug over everything, right? And the whole time he was in jail cheating on her. I don't think people understand that, how detrimental that can be to a woman. So you're telling me the whole time I'm envisioning us getting out of jail, I'm praying for you, I'm going through all of that. And I say us getting out of jail because if you're dealing with a man in jail, you're doing it with him, right? And the whole time he's in there on the phone with another woman talking about, "You're gonna have my baby." Excuse me. So I'm the dummy here doing everything for you, and at the end of the day, she has your baby. That's the problem. I don't think people understand how Thug really did Mariah. And we all know that she's gonna get back, but it's the hurtful shit. And again, we should be talking about her album in case instead we're talking about how her man was gonna have a whole baby without her behind her back, and how he cheated on her the day right before he went to jail. I don't think y'all understand. If I'm Mariah, yeah.
The most disappointing thing of this whole, thing with Young Thug is he didn't give a fuck about that girl at all. He got Mariah like all fucked up in the head at her shows and shit. That's her money, man. And then on top of that, he got caught saying, "I'm still in here fucking." Mariah doesn't even know. And it did that stupid ass laugh at the end of the phone call. Boy, that's some trifling shit. And before motherfuckers get in my comments, especially dudes, they gonna get in my comments saying simp, whatever the fuck. You can say a lot of things, but I'm not fucking trifling. Yeah, I'm not fucking trifling. And another thing, you see how he sat down and he talked about gunna this, gunna that, or whatever. But if Mariah was to go pop out with that motherfucker today, if Mariah was to pop out with Gunna today, like they a couple, or they talking, or they going on dates, or whatever they deal is, they would be the same dudes that would say she's doing him wrong. And that's the fucking funny part of it. If she was to do that, and I know you don't supposed to love nobody out of spite. You don't supposed to give your body to nobody out of spite. You're not supposed to be giving up your body to somebody you're not married to. Of course not. But if she went and did that shit, it's just like I just want to play. I forgot what his name was on the Best Man. You don't think she well in her rights to go get her swerve on for all the shit that you did? You don't think that she has? You don't think she's going to? All right.
So now the big question is, where does Mariah go from here? She's already been humiliated by those leaked calls, betrayed by the very people she trusted, and dragged in front of the entire world. But if you think this story is over, trust me, it's not even close. Because more recordings are still floating around, and if they ever come out, it could completely change how people see both her and Young Thug. And let's be real, when the truth finally drops, it won't just be embarrassing, it could be career-ending. So stay tuned, because what happens next is going to shock everybody.